right, welcome back to the show, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hey,
Wait, we didn't do the clap.
oh, you're right.
Gotta clap.
Hold on. Thanks. Because
Yeah.
without that would have been fucking impossible to sing the fucking
Hey, I'm just trying to make our lives a bit easier.
a bit easier. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Talking Spice.
Thank you.
Hey, boys, you guys know the concept of Ikigai?
Ichiban?
Yes.
Ichiban. No,
Ikigai.
Ikigai.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. Sounds like an anime character. but it's not.
Okay, what is it?
Have you guys know it? You guys familiar?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
familiar
But
with
explain it to the people that might not know it.
So Ikigai is ancient Japanese philosophy of just understanding one's life's purpose. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Ooh.
And we're not going to focus too much on specifically Ikigai, but I think it's a really great way to have the conversation of having a life's purpose and a reason for being and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Ikigai is just a really simple way to anchor the conversation into a way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're talking about today. So
Okay.
what do you guys know about Ikigai?
It's trying to figure out the things that you want and trying to combine them in a way that you can make it into reality.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because that sounds interesting. But
So, for example, if one of the things that makes me happy is cooking, and I need money to survive, I can work as a chef, and that already puts me in a direction for that.
good. So that's the key word, the direction. So it's
Yeah.
it's to kind of help make a path.
Yeah.
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 To me, I think I'm starting to figure out your life's purpose, right? Or your reason for being,
Yeah.
right? The reason you get up every morning and stuff like that. And I think it's broken down in a couple of quadrants, right? So you have what was it again? Yeah,
Oh, no.
what do you love to do? Then you had I don't know the order, but you had what you love to do.
What you need to survive?
So if you can get paid for what you love to do, or what you can get paid for, and then
What you're good at and what the world needs.
yeah, exactly. What you're good
Yeah.
at what the world. Yeah, that was yeah.
So-
yeah.
Interesting enough, that diagram, that Venn diagram,
Mm-hmm.
what most people know. So again, as four intersecting circles, it's what you love, what the world needs, what you can get paid for, and I think the fourth one was what you're good at. Let me double check. I have it here.
No, it is.
And
Yeah.
then Chris can see it too. So most people know this diagram. Can you see it? No, you can't see it. So
Especially if you're listening to the podcast.
Don't be lazy. Look it up.
yeah, so this is
Ikigai.
it. Spoiler alert. This is actually not Ikigai. This is what a bunch
Nani?
of exactly.
Are you saying? Are you saying it's fake news?
No, it's actually the Western interpretation, and
I read about that,
It's
yeah.
been merged with another concept, it's like the purpose diagram. So a lot of people, when they look up Ikigai, when you look up YouTube videos and you look at articles, this is what people are talking about. This is actually not Ikigai, which is nothing wrong with it. We're still going to be using both,
Yeah,
but this is just
the westernized
the
version. of it.
westernized interpretation of the same concept, and they just happen to use the word Ikigai because it catches headlines and it's interesting. So to start with this one, what the misinterpretation of it is, or the Western version of it is again, it's a combination of what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs.
Yeah,
So, like, the what you can be paid for should be like a dead giveaway that is not an ancient Japanese philosophy.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
ancient
yeah.
Japanese philosophers were like, oh no, what to figure out what you can be paid for.
samurai.
Exactly. Like around all the deep philosophical emotions, they're concerned about what they can get paid for.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that should have been a dead giveaway, right?
Yeah.
True.
So, what Ikigai actually means is life's purpose. So there's different interpretations of it. It could be what you mentioned, with the reason for getting up in the day, your reason
Yeah.
for being. But Ikigai is just a word. It's not a key philosophy with a set formula or set rules. It's just a word people use to give direction or anchor a feeling or an emotion in their lives.
Yeah.
So everyone's Ikigai can be different. So your Ikigai doesn't have to be the intersection of any four random quadrants or any principles. People can have multiple Ikigai as well.
Yeah.
And people can also go so far as to argue that Ikigai isn't something that you achieve. is something that you live or something that you are.
That lifestyle.
Yeah, so that could go really deep, and it can go. I think it's one of those onion situations where you can just keep peeling back the layers until you find out that what it actually means. But those are two different types of. So that's the actual Ikigai.
Yeah.
The way the Japanese psychology or philosophy approaches it is just your reason for being, your life's purpose.
Yeah.
Iki and gai are two separate words, and this just means like your life and the worth or value of your life. Only thing I couldn't figure out is that when they say worth or value of your life, is it for yourself or is it for those around you? So I think that's a little bit like debatable. But that's the actual Ikigai. And then you have this really handy and convenient tool, this diagram, that's actually a merge of two things. It's two different diagrams have been put together to come up with this.
Yeah.
And where Ikigai is written in the intersection of the Venn diagram, that's actually where purpose was written first. And then people found Ikigai and like, oh, let's just swap it out.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't think ancient Japanese philosophers were all like, how many coins can you get for this bucket of fish? So I don't think that's a problem. But still, nonetheless, a really convenient and easy tool and a great way to think about purpose in a sense of more a career. Because we can imagine that ancient Japanese philosophers were not that all too concerned with career, more with sense of self and purpose in life.
Yeah.
And this is just taking the key lessons out of that and maybe using it to either find your career or your dream job, since it has that element of what you can be paid for. So it's still a great diagram nonetheless. So I want to talk about this diagram, the not Ikigai version of it.
The Ikigai, if you will.
Yeah, the fakey guy.
The fakey guy.
There you go. Before we go into the specific sections of the diagram itself, life's purpose, is that something you guys like have spent a lot of time thinking about, or is it something you actively work on? Is it something in your life that you can actually grasp onto and work on?
I think not. I don't think it's something you can like, to, of course, tangibly grasp onto.
But for you, I mean, like for you specifically.
I try to think about it, but not too much, because I think that's the life's journey. You know, I think that you find that out. I think towards the end of your life, you find that out. Okay. Me personally, I think you just go through life, you try different things, you see what works, what doesn't. Okay, I like this, I don't like this. Okay, this helps me, this helps them. And then as you go, you figure out, I think towards the end, you figure out, oh, okay, I was meant to do this, or this is or maybe my whole life was an experiment. Maybe I wasn't really meant for anything. Maybe it's just the whole life is just trying to figure out what I like and what I like to do. So that's how I look at it. I kind of think about it, but not really in that sense. And what's my purpose on life? What's my being? What's my reason for being here, or something like that? I think I see that as my life. I try to do what I like. I try to help other people a bit, and I just try to figure out what's good, what fits, and what doesn't fit, and then I just roll with the punches.
All right.
Yeah.
So you could also argue that some people don't have a purpose in life. Because like you said, like if you get to your deathbed, you're like, I wasn't really meant for one specific thing. Or
I guess so. I guess you could say that. Yeah, I mean, it might be like a depressing way to look at things.
I'm a little bit
sad. Because I feel like when you put that on someone, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Like, oh shit, I gotta go figure out what my purpose is for life. Like, what am I meant to do here? To me, if you see like, okay, I'm just living my life. It's like, oh, I have one life. I live it. I try to do what I like. I try to spend time with the people that I enjoy and they enjoy me. And I just try to live my best life, as they say nowadays, you know? Yeah. So I think that's how I see it. I don't think you have maybe you do, maybe you don't, but I don't feel like you need to find that specific reason for, okay, I'm put on this earth for this specific reason. So.
Yeah, because for me, it's not necessarily not having a purpose. It's not necessarily looking for a purpose. I don't think every single person in the world needs a purpose. Because you find people that are driven and want to, this is my purpose. My purpose is to, I don't know, create the newest vaccine or whatever. And that's their purpose, where other people, they're just enjoying being and they're happy there. They're not causing anyone any issue and whatnot. So they're not necessarily looking for a purpose. They're just being is their purpose.
Yeah, I think as long as you don't hurt anyone, you're just a productive member of society. I think
that's interestingly enough, one of the many like pitfalls of people who are working on their purpose or on their Ikigai is what you guys talking about, that inherent pressure that comes from having to define a specific thing that you're meant for, or the one thing you're going to be known for, or and that's actually one of the misconceptions about Ikigai and of purpose, that you have to be able to label it. You have to be able to say outright, this is what it is, because purpose and Ikigai can also just be a feeling. It could be a sense. It could be, more often than not, it's something that can be put into words. And the second trap is also that it's something that you have to achieve. It's something that, like, as if there's a finish line. There's a mark that you get, and at some point you're on the top of the mountain, and then you're done.
Yeah.
And that's where this modern diagram version of Ikigai gets it wrong, or according to people who actually study Ikigai, is, I mean, Japan has the second highest life expectancy rate in the world. On Okinawa, people there get like to 100 years old easy, and they're working in their gardens and cycling and everything. So,
the first being what? You know what the first one is?
No fucking clue.
Okay.
I think the first. I think the first one is in
Google it a
Italy.
little bit longer. What?
I think the first one is in Italy, where they got people like old as hell.
Maybe I have no clue.
Okay.
But these rich in life Japanese people, see how they did it? Didn't call them old. Rich in life.
Smart. PC.
They attribute a lot of their longevity and happiness to Ikigai because they seem to understand that it's not something you achieve and then you're done. It's something that's experienced throughout your whole life.
Yeah.
That's why, like, Japanese people don't really retire. They just go as long as possible, as long as their health will allow.
Yeah.
And so thinking that Ikigai or purpose in life is something that you have to achieve, like, oh, I'll work and I'll do this and I'll study and then I achieve my purpose. Well, what if you achieved that at 50? What are you going to do for the rest of your life? You know?
Chilling.
So, like, I think the correct interpretation of purpose in Ikigai is, what is the value of your life throughout your whole life? So what you just described also, that still sounds to me like Ikigai.
It could possibly, yeah.
It doesn't sound as easy saying, oh, my purpose in life is to teach. So I'm going to be a teacher and I have achieved Ikigai. So that seems like a cop-out. Like, it can't be that easy, you know? Life should be a little bit more complex than that. Yeah. But what you say, it's about just living your life and trying out different things and living your best life. I think, to me, that sounds like experiencing life with as little unnecessary friction as possible.
Yeah.
And that sounds to me like purpose. That sounds like the value you can bring, like, into your own life. So, like, there's still something there, you know. It might be a few more layers to peel back, but you might be thinking more in the direction of purpose and Ikigai than you think, you know?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. I guess if you don't have to put a label on it per se, then maybe, yeah.
Yeah, not a label, and specifically, it's not something that you have to achieve. It's not like once you get 100 points, that's when you're at Ikigai, you know?
Yeah.
So it's more of a sense of being. It's a state of self more than anything else. But I definitely agree with you guys that it's not necessarily something that has to be a pressure bestowed upon you, like, oh, you have to go figure out Ikigai.
Yeah.
Because, again, in the real Japanese philosophy, you can have multiple Ikigai. You can have one for work, one for family, one for love. So it's,
okay. So it's not a one
exactly
one fits all kind of thing.
And that's why this diagram gets it wrong a lot of times. And that's why it should be technically seen as a tool to figure out your dream job or your perfect work-life balance, but not so much like for your life's purpose. You know? Because let's dive into the diagram.
Yeah.
So as we said, there are 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
And the first one is what you love. Next to that, you have what you're good at. So when you have something that you love, that you're good at, you're talking about your passion.
I thought you're a sociopath because you go counterclockwise. You're definitely a sociopath.
Definitely a sociopath, always. If you look at what you're good at, then next to it, you have what you can be paid for.
Yeah.
So if you're good at something, you paid for it, that's your profession. When you have what you can be paid for and what the world needs, you have your vocation.
Yeah.
Right?
Because, like, I read a bit on it, and it says, when it comes to what the world needs, is it is it specifically the world itself, or can the world also be like you two guys? So a few people around you.
Yeah, scale is not important.
Yeah, I think with world they don't mean the globe world. They mean like your world, as in you, the people you interact with. And
Imagine
stuff like that,
the
people you
pressure
affect.
if your purpose had to affect the whole fucking world.
Yeah, because I'm thinking then you gotta do like be a marine biologist or some shit.
Why marine? Why is the first thing you think of marine biologist?
I don't know, because you need to study that shit. The oceans are being fucked up and stuff. That's what the world needs. So I don't know.
I think we semi uncovered some of Graham's like deep seated like concerns in life. Like Graham might be like a laid back dude, but he's so worried about the fishes.
Exactly.
Like,
Come on, man. They're just trying to swim.
He cries when he watches Finding Nemo and shit. Yeah, I feel you.
Dory, no.
No, but I don't think scale is supposed to be important because, like, yeah, like kind of what you said. I don't think not everyone is meant to have like a great like purpose in life, but definitely not everyone's meant to save the world.
Yeah. So that's
So when you have also then what the world needs and what you love, then it's more a sense of a mission, something that like a higher calling, something you think that you're a sense of duty to it. That's your mission.
Yeah.
So with what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs, you have your passion, your mission, your profession, your vocation. And the idea is that when you can find one thing that touches all those things, that's when you have your purpose. Because again, not Ikigai, like diagrams say, it's just your purpose.
Yeah.
It's what you can do of extreme value for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for what you can do for extreme value for yourself, then you're most likely talking about just your passion and your profession.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're the world's most selfless person, then you're probably talking about just your mission and your vocation. Because you can be paid for something that you dislike, and the world might need it, but you're not going to be happy about it. So it's not going to really be your...
Yeah.
It's not going to have anything to do with your passion for yourself.
Or you might not even be good at it.
And what is interesting about when you're reading into Ikigai and there's a lot of really great books written about it and people who give courses about it and everything, and especially people who don't stem everything off of this diagram, is the wide variety of Ikigai that there can be.
Yeah.
Because again, it's easy to think like, it has to be labeled, it has to be this type of career, or this type of profession, or this specific act.
Yeah.
But it can be a lot of different things. So to not get too hung up on this diagram and more go back to the actual like Japanese philosophy. For you guys, Ikigai in this simplest sense could be what gets you excited in the day, what makes you happy when you wake up, what's worth living for.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about that? Is that kind of thinking at all something you guys are busy with? Do you guys like have a place for that in your day to day or week to week?
Not really. Not for me.
Okay.
Not at all. For me, a little bit, a little bit. Not to the extreme, but I do sometimes wake up and just wonder, like, do I really want to do this, or what am I doing it for? Stuff like that. But not, to be honest, I'm more leaning towards Chris as well. I don't really think that deeply about it, Yeah.
I think you guys are in the majority. I think most people don't wake up and like have it as a habitual thought process. Absolutely. Yeah. But do you guys maybe see the value in doing it? Like understanding, like
definitely,
having it like in your life.
Yeah, definitely, because you don't want to just you don't want to be like, I guess, life to be automated or whatever. You just don't want to do the same thing over and over and just be not mind numbing. You want to have some sense of purpose. You want to think, okay, do I really? Because you have one life to live, right? So you want to enjoy it. You want to make sure you take it, you live it to the max, you do it to the fullest. So you do want to, I guess, think about it in the sense of, do I really want to do this same routine for the rest of my life? Do I want to switch it up? I'm truly happy. What am I doing now? Or would I prefer to do this or that? So just to make sure that there's one life you have here that you actually live it to the fullest and actually do what you love.
Is that like to not have regrets at the end?
Yeah, exactly. Because once you're gone, you're gone. There's nothing you can. Well, we don't know what's afterwards, but there's nothing you can do about it. So you might as well try your best to make it a life you enjoy before you perish. Yeah,
I think that's like at the least like an important way for everyone to think about it.
Yeah.
Like again, putting a hard label or having it clearly defined might be a bit of a stretch, but at least knowing that there's something there worth breathing, acting, moving for.
Yeah,
I think that's a good start.
Yeah, especially for people like me and like who don't currently love what they're doing right now, called their job and shit. So it becomes at some point it becomes a routine where you keep doing it over and over and over. But then at some point you do also start thinking like, okay, like do we really want to do this for the rest of my life? Do I want to stay in this routine, do this clock in clock out over and over? So I guess you do start little by little start to think about, okay, I do want to switch some things up. I guess you start without knowing, start looking at these quadrants like, yo, what can I do? What do I love? How can I combine this and this and this to maybe
how can I be paid for it?
Exactly.
Because money is not everything, but hey,
it's a lot.
You need
exactly.
food, roof, and clothes. So
exactly, yeah. So, but then gladly, thanks to Kunugu, I am starting to look at things differently and move in a different direction.
That's good.
So I'm starting to think of it more and more. Let me put it like that. Yeah. I'm not all the way there yet, but I am starting to think of it more and more, to just switch things up and just have a different approach to things.
Sounds like a healthy step.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Chris?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's not something that I necessarily constantly think of, but it is something that crosses my mind at certain phases. For example, back when I worked when I was still working in the restaurant industry, I think the longest I worked at one singular restaurant was like 3 years. And after a while, it's like you said, it becomes a routine. You wake up, you go to work, you finish work, go home, and then especially because in that industry I worked 5 to 6 days a week, it became very, very, very repetitive. So at a certain point, I was like, okay, is this really how I want things to go? What, and if so, what avenues do I have? Do I eventually want to open up my own place? Do I want to run my own team and stuff like that? And with that, I realized that wasn't necessarily it for me.
Because the funny thing with you is that, like, if you take a very, like, shallow understanding of Ikigai, I think all of us could most quickly point to you and say, oh, Chris Ikigai is cooking.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go, that's what's always been your thing.
Yeah.
That's from a young age.
Yeah.
And if you look at, like, the quadrants also, like, for as far as the restaurant industry hasn't ruined it for you, you've always loved cooking.
Yeah. I still do.
Yeah, and you're fucking good at it. You're exceptionally good at it.
Thank you.
And you can definitely be paid for it. You've proven that. You've worked in the industry for a long time. You've been paid for it.
Yeah.
And then it's what the world needs. The world needs good food.
Yeah.
People want to eat stuff that they can cook themselves. They want to try different cuisines. So food is a primary need. So it does hit all those quadrants, right?
Yeah. But with that as well, as we were conversing, I kept like pondering and thinking back to the past and whatnot. If I would have to label my Ikigai, I think it would be more caring / service. Because if I look back at like how my person is for the people around me, that's just how I am. When I'm like, okay, cool, how can I help the people around me? For example, if back when we were in high school, me and my group of friends, we would go out to go get McDonald's or whatever. And some friends that they couldn't, I'd be like, hey, we're all eating together. Don't worry, I got you. So that we can all sit and have a meal together, for example. Or if someone needs help with their business and if anyone needs help with something and I'm able to do it, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm going to come help you out, to help take care of and protect. That's, I guess, would be my Ikigai for my thing.
It's at the least a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
With the assumption of, because last few episodes we talked a lot about happiness. If we were to just hypothetically assume that the happiest and most successful people in the world, like if you put those two things together, they are probably aware of some things that the majority of the people are not.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, it has a lot to do with skill and talent, of course. But it most likely also has to do with a certain form of mindset. There's a reason why Kobe Bryant, would be in the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning before anyone else got, because he had a certain mindset.
Yeah.
He did what he had to do to win or to be as good as he is.
Yeah.
One of my passions is studying like successful people and great leaders and like CEOs. That's what I like to do. It's interesting to me. What I slowly start to realize is that all those people who are at the top echelon of what they do and people that we look up to. Two things. One, everyone kind of puts a border between themselves and them. Like, oh, I'll never be Bob Iger. I'll never be Kobe Bryant. I'll never be that because like they have something I don't, right? Like they're like the difference is way too huge. And the second thing I realized is that all those people have something in common. Successful people, successful in life. So that means all those people are happy. So I'm not talking about the billionaires who are miserable, about to shoot themselves in the head. I'm talking about successful people who got successful doing what they love and that they're happy with it.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone needs help. I mean, there's someone who loves what he does, but he has bad time management, so he doesn't see his kids. So I'm not talking about those specific details. I'm talking about you're doing something that you're exceptionally good at and that you actually enjoy.
Yeah.
All those people have something in common. All of them are generally doing something that they enjoy, makes them happy. It just also happens that they're so good at it, and then everything else comes into play that they get to be paid a lot of money for it, right?
Yeah.
People tie a lot of value with how much money someone earns. There's a thing called like the new rich. Have you guys ever heard about that?
No.
So the new rich is
I don't even know the old rich.
right. So the new rich is kind of the idea of it's not about the money. It's about the life experience. So who's richer? The person who has $1 million sitting in the office 60 hours a week, driving a Lambo like from office to home and or the person who gets to go climb every mountain in the world without a care in the world and gets to meet all these people. So like who's the richer person, right? Bob Marley has a really famous quote also. They ask him, are you a rich man? He asks, when you say rich, what do you mean? It's like, you have a lot of money and possessions. He asks, does possessions make you rich? He's not that kind of rich. It's if you've ever seen that video, watch the video. It's fucking awesome. That's a new kind of rich, right? But again, the old rich people attach like a lot of value on how much money you have.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that what if we hypothetically assume that these people who achieve that level of success and happiness do it because maybe indirectly they have spent their lives always thinking about their Ikigai or their purpose? Because I'm of the assumption that most of them, if not all, 100% have. Either by happenstance, by keep trying things over and over and then sticking to one core value that they had. Like for me, for example, my core value is I can't work for someone. I always knew I couldn't. I've tried it. It didn't work. I'm someone, I need to work for myself. I need to be in control of my own things. I'd rather be less rich, have less money, and work for myself than work for someone else and be fucking a millionaire. 100%. Easy choice, right? So I ask you guys, for example, if you ever think about your purpose, like often or your Ikigai, and I think the most people would answer no. Most people don't wake up every day and think about it. They don't wake up every day and do the things that successful people already tell us to do. I mean, all the answers for success and happiness are there. All these people tell us, like, all the most amazing people in the world, the most successful people, they don't hide anything. Like, the secrets are out there, right?
Yeah.
But it's still things that people don't do. People don't wake up every day and make a list of 3 things they're grateful for. People don't, like, simplest thing, people don't read books. Everyone says, you want to be successful, you want to be great, read books. Most accessible thing ever. It's never been so affordable, never been so easy to get. But most people don't read books. Most people don't do charity work. Most people don't work on their health and their fitness. Most people don't sacrifice clubs and partying over good sleep. These are all the things that all these amazing successful people are telling us to do. And so, you want to be like me? You want to be rich and successful and happy? Do these things? We're like, nah, you're Kobe. So, so there's this weird inherent, like, naive border that we put between us and them.
I guess so, yeah.
And I think a really easy way for people to start changing that is to have more conversations about purpose and Ikigai, because it's not rocket science. It's not something difficult to do. And I think it could be really valuable for a lot of people to start getting out of their acceptance of mundane, like, oh, I'm just a guy, or I can't achieve that. Well, this dude did it because of this, and this. So a lot of making excuses for reasons why you can't and they can. When everyone starts saying, wait, we all know, for example, how Oprah came up. Like, sexually abused when she was at a young age, went through hell and high water, and became super successful later on in life.
Yeah.
People hear that and think, oh, no, but that's Oprah. but she started off worse than most people do.
Yeah.
And she still made it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. True.
I don't know, maybe it's just the dreamer in me, but I always like it when I can find tools or methods or funnels of thought to just help people maybe like break out of that mundane and that average, because a lot of people just assume that they're average.
Yeah.
And I always assumed that I'm not average. And I've always tried to do things to, like, at the least, like, try to convince myself that I'm right, you know? Like, if at the end of yeah, exactly. If at the end of the road I'm on my deathbed, I'm like, shit, I guess I was average.
Yeah.
Then I'll be fine with it. But I know I've tried to not let that be the case, you know?
Yeah. Try your best.
If you could, guys would, like, try to think about, like, your actual, like, Ikigai or, like, your life's purpose, what's, like, the first thing that kind of comes into your head?
Like I said, for me, it's taking care of the people around me. That for me is my first thing. I mean, you're pretty self-sustained, so yeah, you're good. But like my mom, just make sure that she's all right. Friends around me, make sure they're all right and stuff like that. I think that for me would be my main one, and work towards that.
So would you call that your Ikigai or your purpose, or more the value of your life? Because I think they're all different things, and I think, like we said before, if we have to label Ikigai one specific thing, it might be too pigeonholing it, you know? That sounds to me like maybe more, that's a value you bring with your existence.
I guess for me, it's a self-given purpose, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it's always a feeling that I've always had since I was young. Like some stupid shit back when I was really young. I was like, yeah, I got to take care of my people, and you know, I'm gonna put like a shield on my arm as a tattoo because you know, gotta protect people. That's how much I can. Like,
damn, this shit went deep.
Yeah, it went real deep. Yeah,
under the skin deep.
Hey, damn, dude.
yeah. No, but that was always something. I've always had that feeling of protector, taking care of. That's also why I love the service industry. Whenever we're having a get together or whatnot, I would rather be the one cooking, making drinks and whatnot, making sure people are happy than being a person that's sitting and enjoying. Because I get more value in making people happy than being made happy, if that makes sense.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think it's also a little bit cultural for you and for us as well. I think people from, it sounds like a fucking blanket statement, but I think people from the islands are more, like, we're more family oriented. In that sense, and less individualistic, and that kind of might come from that as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure Dad felt the same way. I'm pretty sure Grandma always felt the same way.
Yeah, I mean, for us back on the islands, it's a thing. If someone comes to your house, you offer them something to drink, you offer them something to eat and whatnot. So I guess, yeah. But I mean, not everyone is the same, because I don't really know if I would get that service from Graham.
Definitely not.
Exactly.
Definitely. So, you're not even getting in my house and you're standing outside.
No, but that's why it differs from person to person. Like for me, that's where I get like a lot of joy and energy from, taking care of people and serving people.
So I think the lesson here is then to hold on to that and see how you can fill in the rest of the quadrants, if you will, in order to build up not only a self-given purpose, but then a purpose in life completely. Because if that's what you feel like gives the most value to your life, which you're maybe most passionate about, then the question is, how can you build on top of that and still find either a vocation or a passion or a mission?
Yeah.
So you don't have to. I mean,
yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with just living your life and letting it play out as it might.
Yeah.
But for everyone who is maybe searching more for a sense of meaning or a purpose or a direction, that's a good way to look about it too. You know, what is important to you, that's what you feel like it is. And then you start filling in the blanks and you go, okay, if this is what it means to me, how can I earn money from it? Or this is important to me, how can I live it every day? Or how can I get good at it? Because, for example, I'm pretty sure, let's say you're good at taking care of people. There might be a way to become great at taking care of people or be amazing at taking care of people. There's also a gradation in that as well. So it's just, sometimes it's just an anchor point, you know, okay, this is kind of where I want to go towards. Yeah. Let's see how I get there. Maybe I'll take the scenic route. Maybe I'll take a direct line.
You ever thought about working like hospice or like?
I have. Back on the island, my original trajectory was to go into psychology and stuff like that. And for that, we had to take internships in different spots. And I don't know if you guys know it, Monsieur Farid on Curacao.
Yeah.
Well, we went there on a field trip. And so they show us, this is how it all works. And that's when I found out that I couldn't do that kind of work because, and I have high respect for the people that can. Because one very important thing for that kind of work is to be able to leave your work at work and not take it home with you.
People do that work, man. Pay them extra, dude. Because I definitely cannot do that shit.
Yeah, it's a hell of a job.
From that field trip alone, like a month after, I was still like processing everything. Yeah, man. I was like, I can't do that, man. It takes a lot of emotion.
Yeah, because like in our house where we grew up, we're very sensitive to suffering. So
everyone is, I guess, right?
Yeah, but like I think like me and Chris, like exceptionally so, like because that kind of shit would also stay with me like for a long time.
Yeah.
Man, I still have like not trauma, but I still have moments where I think about shit I've seen in the past of like people suffering. Like we got like shake myself out. Okay, cool. Like go play video games or go watch something. Go watch Friends or something. Like get that shit out of my head. Right?
Yeah. True. But I guess everyone that gets in that field is like that in the beginning, right? I'm assuming everyone when you first get into it, it's hard to keep there. It's hard to like you always take it home with you. But then I'm assuming as you do it more and more and more, it becomes just like you train yourself, I guess, to.
I fucking hope so.
Leave it at home.
That's some tough shit to deal with.
Yeah.
Because you mad respect people who do that. Work with like disabled people and with kids and with elderly and shit. Like,
because if not, you'll go crazy. Because if you take that home with you, that's gonna destroy your personal life as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing in that kind of industry as well. Like I've also had an internship working at a daycare for kids, and that's also a totally different thing because even. Like every child has their own personality, but with that also comes their own issues within their houses and stuff like that. And yeah, you talk to them and they're a lot smarter than people give them credit for. So you find out a lot of the things they go through.
Yeah.
Then after that, they go home. I go home and I'm like, shit, this kid is having issues at home. He's having issues at school. What can I do to help this kid and whatnot? When what I should be doing is just leave that at work. Because if I take it home, I'm not going to have peace of mind. And that's how you continually exhaust yourself.
Because you're also no good to your partner and your own kids if you're
constantly
in your head and like
exactly
suffering the whole time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Graham, what about you? If you would think about naming either your Ikigai or your purpose or
that's a good question. No, I've been thinking about it while we were talking, but I'm not sure if I have an answer for you. My passion or my Ikigai.
Because that's one thing is like throughout my whole life that I've known you, not in necessarily a negative way, but you never seemed like a very passionate person to me. Like
me neither.
Or
yeah,
or let me say
I was trying to not bring that up, to like put him on a spot.
Yeah, that's fine.
But again, I'm not saying that you're not a passionate person, or I mean it more in the sense that
marine biology. Hello, guys.
Save the fishes.
I more in the sense that I've never seen a thing or a scenario give you like, oh shit, I'm really hyped about this.
It's also because this motherfucker, out of all of us group of friends, he shares the least.
I share the least?
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? What does that mean?
Yeah.
In what sense was share the least?
No, not like sharing your ice cream or anything like that, but like sharing, like...
open up and tell people stuff.
Yeah, anytime I ask you, hey, Graham, how's it going? It's good.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean. I thought I was like,
the microphone.
I share my stuff. Oh, okay.
You always share. Yeah, you share your video games and your food. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I thought that's what you meant.
Emotional sharing, out of all of us, you're the most closed off, most quiet, and... I agree with Chris. Like I could not pin on you what your passion in life is.
How long have we known each other?
Our whole fucking lives.
Like ballpark number of years.
I've known Graham at least 20, 22, 23 years.
Okay, so it would be safe to assume that you and I know each other like 18 years.
Sure.
Okay.
Nah, you've known him since I've known him.
No, like that we would be for
yeah.
In those 18 years.
What the fuck do you love, dude?
I don't know.
Okay, I know he likes Chino Antiano, and he likes video games.
That's
other than that, does he like books? I don't know. Can he read? Maybe.
Can he read?
Can read, but not at a high level.
I know some words. But the thing is, like, because I don't want to like fucking pile on this dude too much.
Yeah, it's fine.
But the thing is, there are people in life who like push back the moment where they sit down and think about it and actually make it a place in their world as far as they can. You're that kind of person. I'm not saying you did it, but you're the like textbook kind of person. Be like, oh, I'll like postpone it as far as I can.
Yeah.
I'll do it later.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, destiny comes knocking, and you're gonna have to answer. You know what I'm saying? And it might be a good idea to give it a more active role in your life because hey, we ain't getting any younger.
Speak for yourself.
You are 100% not getting any younger. Hey, not eating veggies is not gonna save you that long, bro.
Oh shit, bro. Hey.
So, like, there are a lot of people who they do that. There are a few elements also that contribute to it. It's either lack of self-esteem, it's a lot of negative self-talk, and it's negative environments. Again, like let's say if you're in a really toxic household or whatever, it's gonna be really hard to like think about what your passion is. That's why when someone does do it and they break out, we read about it in books because they're world renowned, right?
Yeah.
They come from an abusive home and blah blah blah, and then they still ended up fucking curing whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But there's way more stories of people who, because of their environment or which creates lack of self-esteem, which makes them insecure, all the things that it's really easy to not want to think about it. It's a fear step.
That's the thing I think people very have a misconception about as well. People are very influenced by their environment, but people shouldn't think that they're defined by their environment. That's why you have these people that come. These girls in Africa, they made a generator that's powered by urine.
Damn.
That's
Exactly. If they can fucking do that, they're in a shitty or a less
There you go.
nice a less nice environment. But look at how much they achieved because it didn't define them. You got these people again in I think it was Ghana. This dude, he started studying engineering. It wasn't school there, but he taught himself, and now he's going around building windmills so that people can get like water from the ground.
Yeah. So again, those are the stories we hear about because they triumph even when the circumstances would have deemed them not to.
Yeah.
And then we hear the stories. But what irritates me is that for most people, the knee-jerk reaction is to put a border between themselves and what they can do and those people. Oh, they're the exception. Oh, it's because this and this. Like, oh, I couldn't do that. Or that's not what life has in store for me. That's like nowadays people's first reaction is to be like, oh, but that's that.
Yeah.
And like, so to absolve yourself of any responsibility to try at least a little bit harder to achieve the same thing. That's like my biggest pet peeve in the world. People underselling themselves or assuming that they have the right to not expect more of themselves.
Yeah.
And again, there's people out there who are meant to be whatever the hell and like not have any influence in the environment. Cool. But I think there's a bigger group of people who are meant and destined for not per se the world changing great things, but definitely things of value, even if it was for your immediate world.
Yeah.
But people just, man, either it's a little bit of cowardice, a little bit of insecurity, it's a little bit of having a bad environment. Because, for example, like with you guys are my closest friends. You guys as close as friends and brothers could ever get. But I never push. I never try to like put my shit onto you guys or tell you got to live a certain way, whatever, because I don't believe that that's necessary. But I do have a lot more faith in you guys than you probably have in yourself.
Okay.
And
Probably.
And I've lived the life of like doing things that people when I told people I'm gonna start my own business, literally every fucking person I rolled. Everyone assumed there was gonna be this guy. Like I've had to deal with like even racism with that shit in the beginning. So, but I've made it. For myself, I definitely consider myself successful, but I'm not special. I'm definitely not smarter or more capable than you guys are. I just made different choices.
Yeah.
Right. So I've never like forced you guys to like be entrepreneurs or like live your better life or go to the gym or read books. I've never done any of that shit. But I would argue that you guys aren't even like at the beginning of how much potential you have to do great shit in the world. Especially like for you, since we don't know what your passion is. We don't know what you fucking love or what you want to do. So true. Like you might be fucking amazing at so much shit, but you're a bit of the lazy one in the group.
Sure.
A little bit.
Sure.
Like-
Sure. A little.
And you have your charm. I mean, like you're a very valuable person to have when you don't want pressure or when you don't want to like be
It's a relaxed vibe.
exactly exactly. You're you have like comic relief in
Yeah.
movies. You're like more the pressure relief in our lives.
All right, I'll take it. Shit.
But that kind of brings me like around to what I think my actual ikigai is, because I start thinking about it in what's my value in the world, and then like, okay, what would be my purpose?
Yeah.
I think you have to go through those steps before you can actually feel what your ikigai could be. And I say feel could be because you definitely want to put a period behind it. You don't want to stop it. It has to be a bit of an open-ended story because it should be able to change. I think my ikigai is to excite. To just excite people around me. And that's what I've always done in my friend group since I was young.
You're a hype man.
Exactly. That's what I do with my clients. That's what I've done, for example, with Iron House 2. I got Fleur excited with the prospect of what it could mean for us and do for us.
Yeah.
I get my team excited to do great work. I get my customers excited for what they can get out of it.
Yeah.
I got you guys excited about Kunuku. So I think my ikigai in life is just excite people. Just to like,
Makes sense.
it's kind of excite and encourage. I want to put good ideas in people's head and get them hyped about it so they can at least take a positive step forward. Whether it comes to fruition or not is not the point. I don't think living life for specific deadlines or like set goals is healthy. You should just want to keep moving and enjoy the movement and then see where it comes. Kind of like what you were saying in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I think that's my ikigai, to excite people. It might feel differently in a year. It might change completely in 10. But I think that's a good direction to go for. I like to excite people. I like to get people hyped. I like to get them thinking in a constructive, positive mindset. Not naivete, none of that shit at all, but just everyone's so set in their ways and convinced of their lack of ability.
Yeah.
I think my purpose would be like, nah, man, technically, like, and the good thing for me is I can excite people with facts. I don't have to blow smoke up your ass. I can just look at what the market does. I can look at your true potential. I can look at examples, and I can easily pull, well, this person is in the exact same situation, and they achieved it, so technically you could too.
Yeah.
And then I let people see their good qualities, and get people excited, and that gets me excited. So I think
Everyone excited.
that's a good, that's hitting all those quadrants for sure, because I get paid for it now.
Yeah.
I think I 100% believe it's what the world needs. It gets me excited, and I think I'm pretty good at it. I've made a career out of it for 6 years now. So I think I can safely say that I'm at least somewhat good at it.
Yeah.
So I think that's my ikigai.
When did you have this realization? Was it something a long time ago? Or was it something recent?
Remember a few weeks ago I told you guys like about how good Iron House was doing? I think that's the moment when like I took time and I did my
Soul
little,
searching.
little mindset rituals that I do. For example, like making sure I know what I'm grateful for, thinking in a positive mindset,
Yeah.
dealing with issues, talking to you guys about like with the check-ins and everything,
Yeah.
and that kind of puts it all together. And I kind of realized that.
And since that realization, have you a different outlook on life? Has it changed anything?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
It definitely puts a lot of more things in clear perspective, makes everything a lot of clarity. And it definitely kind of, let's say, it makes life easier.
Okay.
It doesn't remove any of the challenges that I face, but it does make those challenges less of an issue.
Yeah.
Makes you look forward more to the challenges?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you guys know me. I love challenges. I love any opportunity to fuck up on is a good opportunity. It's a chance. So I'm all about that shit. And then having a clearer sense of my purpose is an easier way to like, deal with it. It had to be what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope I can keep living that and hopefully inspire other people to at least think about these things. Because I think far too many people. Also, I think a reason I think is important, and we can just end with that, is there's a lot of people in the world who don't have the luxury to wake up and think about what they're grateful for or to think about their purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of people, maybe they feel like their lot in life has been decided already. People in less fortunate countries, people in war areas.
People in abusive homes.
Exactly. So not only do we have all the tools and means to be successful, and even the poorer people in Western communities have the opportunity.
Yeah.
It just seems very like bad in my mouth, like a bad taste to not think about these things. Like it's kind of a how dare you not at least consider your life's purpose when you have all these things in front of you. It seems like spoiled or like privileged to like be like, oh no, because I'm so privileged that even by not thinking about it, it komt goed. You know, with other people in the world, they're fucking
dying for a chance like that.
Exactly, they're dying to be able to wake up and be like, what can I do with myself today?
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe that kind of also motivates it. And I hear people like fucking screaming, but it should be an internal thing. Like, yeah, no, but external motivation is also a really great motivator. And that to me is a really great reason to wake up and be like, I can every day wake up and name 10 things I'm grateful for. And in the whole week, it could be 10 different things every day.
Okay.
Not only because those are the lessons that were taught by successful people, but just doing that, man, it makes life so much better. It makes life easier.
Puts things in perspective.
Exactly. So why would I not do it? It's like, hey, here's the magic pill to feel better about life and not be, shitty or sour or have a bad demeanor. And people are like, no, thank you. No.
Yeah. It's like, I think Chris says, like, people are creatures of habits, right? So you're locked into the habit. So you're like, that's a change. That breaks you away from the habit. So people don't want to do that. They don't want to pursue that. So
I hope
it's like they're comfortable in their ways and they're like, and this is what I know, so I'm just going to stick to it. Yeah. And that's how you miss out on a lot of shit in life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm inspired by the people who inspire me, that they just, as soon as someone, usually they're outside of the norm, I'm like, there's probably something there I can learn from.
Yeah, there's something, there's a reason for that. Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
All right.
That ended up being a longer conversation than I thought it was.
Yeah.
And it was nice to talk about these things.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and especially comment.
Exactly. Comment. What's your Ikigai? What do you think your purpose is?
Yeah.
Let me know what's my passion.
Yeah,
someone let me know.
Yeah, someone let Graham know what his passion is.
Let us know what your best guess is as to his passion.
Yeah. If you look at Graham and like everything he said so far, like, what do you think this guy's meant for? Because we don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I have a really good idea, but I'm not going to put it on you.
Oh. But maybe you should, because I have no idea.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Kunuku Spices, Instagram, Kunuku Spices. Bye.
Yeah, and we're probably going to start popping this episode off on our separate Instagram page also. So you can follow us on Kunuku Spices. That's the spice stuff. That's us hanging out, doing what we do.
Yes, sir.
All that foodie goodness.
Exactly. Then you also have Talkin Spice. That's when we're going to be focused more on the podcast and all the conversations we have.
And let us know what you want us to talk about next. So
yeah, for sure.
Whatever you're interested in. Holla.
Holla.
Peace.